Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick live to discuss this since this was a little flub from last night that had the internet abuzz. Some were very excited about this, and some were, like myself, very disappointed because, number one, this is something I'm genuinely looking forward to. And number two is because we just haven't gotten anything in the Friday the 13th franchise in 15 years now. So having anything in the works that's actually official, that isn't a fan film, was exciting. And I am a massive fan of A24. Now, as I said, this can be something that doesn't excite you. I think that with the Friday the 13th franchise, that it is more than likely pretty much a guarantee that you will eventually see another film and get the kind of like mindless slasher that you're looking for. The horny teenagers going into the woods and getting cut up by Jason movie that we've gotten, countless other times. I think that's pretty much an inevitability, but I saw this last night, as we all did, from what seemed like a pretty reliable source, in my opinion, because I thought that discussing film, I've seen reports from them plenty of times, and I actually went to my Twitter or X or whatever, which I don't ever do anything on. I'm not a big Twitter or X kind of guy. Um, not saying that it's cool or not cool to be on there. It's just literally something I just don't do. And I tried to sign into my account because I never use it, and that became a whole fiasco onto itself. And I was just trying to cross check them. I was like, okay, like, can I get a confirmation? And I went on to the news, Google News, and typed in this and was like looking for any reliable sources. And I couldn't find one, which gave me some hope. And I was hoping that I was going to wake up today and I was going to get some confirmation from a reputable source, something that I know 100% wouldn't report on it unless it was true, that this was still potentially in the works. And lucky day, it is still happening. So before we get into it, of course, I'm going to say hi to my wife first. Sorry, guys. She gets to go first here because she's my wife and I love her. Hello to everyone. DE, what's going on? Why can't Sean and Victor just bury the hatchet and get along? Oh man, I wish Jason would bury the hatchet in both of them so we could fucking stop dealing with the legal complications. If you can't tell, my voice is off because I have a cough and got it from my family. But I am slowly, hopefully getting over it. Hello, my horror friends. So, what happened after all? Why the fake rumor? Obviously, like usual, if this was purposefully done as a fake thing, which I don't think that's what happened, since that, from what I've known in the past of them discussing film, they always seem to be pretty reputable in this regard, but maybe not. I don't know. So, yeah, anyway. Let's discuss. So, Bloody Disgusting, when Bloody Disgusting says something, you can just take that as fact when it comes to the horror genre. I haven't seen them be wrong about exclusives or reports that they've done regarding horror stuff. So, when Bloody Disgusting says it, you can count it as gold in my experience. So, unless there is something going on behind the scenes that they just haven't announced yet, but it looks like, okay, here we go. It's going to be hard to read with this voice, but I'm going to do my best. Can you believe it's now been 15 years since we last saw Jason Voorhees on the screen? Yeah, I mean, in some ways that does seem like a long time, but in another way, it's like, it does feel like it's been a long time since I saw a Friday the 13th movie in theaters. Like, when I really think about it, it's like, no, it really has been 15 years. So, yeah, I can't believe it. In the wake of several years worth of legal troubles, the Voorhees family was finally set to return in a new Friday the 13th television series from A24, Peacock, and Brian Fuller, titled Crystal Lake. But a report this week has cast doubt on the show happening at all. All right. Jeff Snider reported in his newsletter, The Insnider, late last night that A24 has pulled the plug on Crystal Lake, which was due to begin filming. Why are you moving all over the place? What the fuck? Ugh, I hate when websites do that. It's like it just starts having a freaking spaz attack sometime this year. Snyder writes in last night's exclusive report, it's unclear whether this is a permanent decision or a temporary one, as A24 had no comment. Perhaps Peacock will help the trades shed more light on this project, which was announced back in 2022. According to Bloody Disgusting sources, A24 has not killed off Crystal Lake at this time. We have confirmed that the show is still happening, but there is indeed some retooling of the project happening behind the scenes. We're digging for more info. Stay tuned. Peacock has given the project a straight-to-series order, blah, blah, blah. Brian Fuller was to serve. Yeah. So... they contacted them, and A24 has confirmed they are still in development. They're still going ahead with the show, and that the real report here, which is not that surprising, that it is just having a little tweak. They're putting it on hiatus for a moment to move things around, but as of yet, they are still going ahead with it. Well, whether or not that's, going to be a couple months or a year, of course, that remains to be seen. But I don't know, man. I just, I hate when we all kind of fall for these things, but it seemed legit last night. And I will say this, though. It was an interesting development in the fact that we did kind of really get people's honest opinions towards the show's existence in the first place. So I found that to be the most fascinating part of this whole development. Is not that, of course, there's something that was put out that was incorrect. That happens all the time. But this typically shows people's true thoughts, right? Like, when this happened, you either got oh no, like, no, boo, shit, I really wanted this, or an immediate, yeah, good, I didn't want it anyway. And I'll honestly say, man, it felt pretty friggin' down the middle. It felt pretty 50-50, right? So that's not super surprising to me. I know that slasher fans in general don't like the idea of a prequel. They don't like the idea of actually having a story. They just want some kind of mindless movie where Jason kills a bunch of horny teens, which, I've harped on about this enough. You guys know my opinion on this. I'm not here to take sides, right? I'm really here to just point out and illustrate the uphill battle that this show has, because the Crystal Lake television series only appeals to a small audience already, right? The horror community itself is a fairly niche audience, right? So you already have a smaller pool that you're appealing to when you make horror shows, right? When you take popular franchises, especially, you immediately eliminate a large swath of the general watching community, because there's a lot of people who just hate horror, and then there's even more people, because as I've talked about in the past on the channel, when I talk to people who say they hate horror, and I push on that, and I really say, okay, what do you actually hate? And when I really get into it, because I'll be like, oh, did you like Jaws? Did you like Silence of the Lambs? Did you like this? And typically the answer I'll finally get out of them is, well, I don't know. I guess I just don't like slashers. That's what they'll always say. Like 9 times out of 10. I really just don't like slashers. And one of the main examples they'll give for that immediately thereafter will be like, stuff like Friday the 13th. So, you can hide the title all you want and say it's Crystal Lake, but of course, people are going to either know by the word of mouth or by the advertisements. It's going to be very obvious that this is a Friday the 13th show. They would be crazy not to market it as a Friday the 13th show. So you already have a large group of people who are going to say, absolutely not. I don't like horror. I don't like slashers. I sure as shit don't like Friday the 13th. It's going to be cheesy. It's going to be stupid. It's going to be graphic and all these things I don't want. So you already have eliminated so many people potentially to watch your show. So you have the horror community that you're really banking on. And after having seen the reaction last night to this show from the horror community and from slasher fans, right? Like, my channel started as like what got a lot of attention on this channel specifically was my slasher Sunday reviews, that I was a slasher guy. And so a lot of my audience are slasher fans. And the slasher fans, when I posted about this, a lot of them were like, good, don't care, don't want this show. So will this show even do well, right? Like, is it maybe smart for them to actually pull this show? I don't know, because do we want a first season that leaves off on some cliffhanger and never ends up having a second season? That would be horrible, right? Like, so I don't know. I still want the show, of course. This is something that I think can work. Brian Fuller made one of the greatest horror shows of all time in Hannibal. I love A24 as a studio. I know they always want to push the envelope with the medium, with the genre. They're always pushing out unique visions and unique things. X and Pearl and soon to be Maxine is like this amazing slasher trilogy. So when it comes to A24, I have full faith that they're going to put out a unique vision under their banner, right? So I don't think it's just going to be some silly thing personally. But that being said, will there be anything that they can put out that will draw in that audience that's like the immediate naysayers, the instant nah, this isn't for me, this is lame? Because people are very dedicated to their like initial response to things. It takes a lot for people to give things a chance once they've kind of made their assertion, right? Like, no, it's gonna be shit. It's like a prideful thing for them that they might watch it in secret, maybe, but I've found that a lot of people, there's some people who will be like, I had a lot of doubts with this show at first. I was the biggest naysayer and now I'm into it. But for the most part, people are pretty petty like that, and will just hate things out of hand and without ever having seen anything, without ever having seen an episode, a trailer, anything. They'll immediately dismiss it and then they'll stay that way. So I'll be curious how much of the audience they'll be able to appeal to, having seen the response last night from horror fans, and it being shockingly like 50% or so that were like immediately down voting, like, no, I don't want this show, good, I'm glad it's gone kind of shit. So we shall see. But as of right now, we can still look forward to this. Whether or not it still happens remains to be seen. Whether or not, once it comes out, whether it'll be good or not. I mean, shit, it might come out and suck, and I'll be the one going, "Wow, I guess this really didn't work." But I'm going to give it the chance. I'm sure I'll watch it no matter what. And it would be definitely tragic if we end up loving it and it doesn't get enough eyes on it, and they never end up continuing it, leaving off on something that was very exciting. So, man, my voice is really just getting worse and worse as I talk. So there you go. Let's take some comments. I'm not going to stay on much longer because my voice is really fucked up. I'm like having a really hard time talking. And having a review channel and discussing things it makes this kind of difficult, right? So Ariadne, how's it going? I'm sure you're at work. Sup, Jason? I'm finally off work. Hey, there we go, another worker, but he's actually off. Mr. Boone is happy, so there you go. Durton, great news. Went to sleep in defeat. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. My wife says she's happy. I know that. Yeah, I thought I'd clarify that I am not Jason Voorhees. I think most of you know that. Thank God, didn't Bloody Disgusting report it though? No. The Snyderverse, or not Snyderverse. That's the DC stuff. The in Snyder, and film discussing or film discussion or whatever that site is. To those people who didn't want it, then they can enjoy something else and let us enjoy the show if we want to. Sure, of course, but they're not going to let us watch. They're not going to let us enjoy the show, because if they don't watch it and this doesn't get good enough ratings, we're not going to get it. So when people are like, "What do you care what other people think?" Well, they cancel shit all the time. I mean, as a Star Wars fan, trust me, I'm well aware of how many things get canceled because of fan backlash. The amount of movies that Star Wars, and television series that Star Wars, and video games and books, not as many books, but for sure all the other three. As a Star Wars fan, the amount of content that I was excited for, whether it be in any of those mediums, oh my God, whether it was Rogue Squadron, or I can go down the list of movies that were going to happen and now have been pulled from the slate. The Benioff and Weiss movies, the Rian Johnson trilogy, the amount of movies they've announced at this point that they've canceled because fans are like, no, we don't like them. They got to go because they made, Thor: Love and Thunder. So the Taika Waititi movie has to go, right? Benioff and Weiss didn't close out Game of Thrones correctly. So now their movies have to go. Rian Johnson made The Last Jedi. So now his trilogy's got to go. Oh, we didn't like Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 1984, so now that's got to go. So don't even get me started. As a diehard Star Wars fan, I know better than anybody how fast things like this get canceled because of fan backlash, all too quickly. I love me some A24 Friday the 13th. It's had a million trashy sequels. I love them all, but I would love a juicy, 100%. I mean, I'm the same as you on that, but a lot of people disagree. I tell people who rip on horror is if it wasn't for horror, like Elm Street, Friday, they wouldn't have Lord of the Rings and Star Trek. Oh, I mean, for sure. Obviously, Freddy is referred to in the New Line Cinema company as the company that Freddy built or whatever. Yeah, you wouldn't have Lord of the Rings because New Line wouldn't be around without Nightmare on Elm Street. And more to the point on that, you wouldn't have a lot of your favorite actors and directors because they would have never got a shot, because every big director, for the most part, does horror movies to start their career. And when they have a successful horror movie, because horror is so hard to do, whether people think so or not, that's why there's so many failures in the horror genre. That's why it's littered with so much garbage, is because it is so hard to do and so few people get it right. That shows you how complicated the genre is. If it was so easy, wouldn't we love everything that comes out as dumb horror fans who like trash? Shouldn't we love every movie that comes out if it's such a simple thing to make? It's really not simple. Horror and comedy are the two hardest things to make, and then a horror comedy is shit. Those two together might be the hardest thing to make. So when a director like a Sam Raimi can make something like that work with an Evil Dead 2. That's why he then gets something like Spider-Man, because it shows a massive amount of talent. As does like acting scared. Not enough people give credit to horror actors for being genuinely terrified. That is a hard thing to act, because nothing on set is actually scary, and it's very hard to act in that way because very few of us ever actually feel true fear. Like, how often have you really genuinely been terrified by something around you? It's not very often that happens, right? So like, we don't even have a lot of exposure or a lot of experience with true terror. But you know it when you see it. They'll tell you that. And some of these people really know how to do it, how to get that look in their face of true horror. So shout out to those actors and actresses, or just actors, I guess, nowadays. I would kill for a lore establishing series that finally shows what happens behind the scenes of the Friday films, why Jason was alive, and more. Yeah, 100%. Me too. 100%. But some people hate that shit. Some people hate that shit. Like Bates Motel was to Psycho. Absolutely. Great show. Great show. Hello, Jason. Hope you are well, my awesome friend. I'm not perfect, as you can hear. I've been coughing it up, but I made this concoction off of a YouTube video because, we listen to everything we hear on YouTube as fact. And I drank it down, and I've been drinking it for the last few days, and it really suppresses my cough tremendously. I had a really bad cough this morning. I drank that drink, and I've coughed like 0 times since. And my daughter has the same cough. She refuses to drink that drink, and she's been coughing to the point of near vomiting all day. I try to get her to drink it. She won't, because she doesn't want the taste of it. And I get it. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's a teaspoon of juiced onion, a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of raw honey, organic honey, and 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice into about 12 ounces of cold water. Yeah, the onion has an aftertaste in the water, but you chug that down 3 times a day. And I did it yesterday and coughed almost not at all. And today, done the same. Hey, man, I'll try shit out. It's not going to hurt me. I mean, lemon water, apple cider vinegar water, that shit's all good for you anyway, for hydration and whatnot. So it's not going to hurt you. And it's helped dramatically. So I say these remedies are work. And I go to that guy all the time. And he has wonderful stuff like that always works for me. So you might think it's all bullshit or it's in my head, but I don't know how you have some kind of like placebo effect of coughing from that. That's not possible. On another note, I hope you do more streams with Christian. Okay, great job on the Friday Girls. Christian, actually, shout out. I don't even think I told you guys. In fact, I didn't tell anybody. I'll have to pull it up here and throw it up on the screen. Well, shit. Now that makes me want to go. Let's see if I can grab this for you. So Christian Luciani has a podcast. No, not. Well, what's this? Oh, Rowan Campbell to star in indie thriller Violence. Oh, interesting. New Rowan Campbell movie as my daughter walks out, who's terrified of his existence. That's funny. Anyway, so Christian has a podcast, and it is Not Exploding Heads. Why does it keep taking me here? I'm asking to log in to Facebook. It literally will not take me to anywhere but Instagram. This is super weird. But he has another podcast, and I went on it. We talked about the movie Stone Cold, an action movie from the 80s. We talked for about an hour. It was him and his co-host, and I'll shoot you a link to that. Here's that Rowan Campbell movie. Anyway, I'm gonna get Rowan Campbell on this channel, man. I'm gonna make it happen. That's somebody I really want to come on. Anyway, so yeah, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Wait, what? Where the hell is that room? Here we go. I'm stoked James Gunn is making a horror film Swamp Thing. Yeah, I mean, I was liking that show. I didn't get to watch all of it, but I did like the episodes that I watched. Am I a big 4K fan? Absolutely. I don't want to upgrade everything to 4K, but I will. I will for the big ones, and then of course any like new releases where I really feel like it will look good in 4K. So yeah, I definitely love 4K. Typically, I'm not excited for franchise announcements because I don't like the people involved and don't think they're a good fit, but I respect Fuller. I know Fuller has some accusations at him right now, so I don't know. Kaylee thinks I sound gruff and sexy. What do you guys think? This voice? Should I do some like sex hotline 1-900 what Sinister 1-900 Sinister? Is that enough? Is that 7 letters? Or yeah, is that 7? Sinister. That's fucking stupid. Sinister Cinema. That's late night Sinister Cinema, right? Like Skinamax. You got Sinister Cinema. Marcus Phoenix voice. That's right. That's right. Gears of War shout out there. Feel better, Jason, and congrats on your wedding. Oh, okay. You're late on that, but I appreciate that. Kaylee says for you to have tea. She's right. I will. Throat issues from being a YouTuber. That's right. Or sucking dick. One of the two. Just finished Immaculate. Found it a bit weird. Okay. Weird's not much of a review, but I'd like to hear more. I'm really rooting for this series. Hope it's great. We horror fans need a proper horror TV series. Watch the new show Them on Amazon. That's definitely a proper horror show. Really, really damn good. We get them. I mean, they're Ash versus Evil Dead was fucking phenomenal. There's plenty of good things. I don't blame you for being hesitant, because they might pull the freaking plug tomorrow, for all I know. I keep hearing the new movie Immaculate isn't very immaculate. Yeah. 2024 has sucked so far for horror. I don't know what movies you've been watching, man, but I could not disagree more. We've had a killer year. In fact, I would say almost every YouTuber I know that covers the genre has stated on their channel, this is the best like first 4 months of horror in a long time. Like typically it's around this time where we're saying nothing is coming. This happens every year. This happens every year. Everyone always freaks out and they're like, horror sucks. And it's always around like June. They're like, we're 6 months into this year and it sucks. It's going to be a terrible year. And then by October, everyone's like, oh my God, there's been so many great movies. And it's like, God, do you guys ever learn? But this is actually a rare exception of a year where in the last month or two, we've gotten The First Omen, Late Night with the Devil, freaking Stop Motion. That was earlier on in the year. We got Lowlives. We got freaking Immaculate. We got, Abigail. We got like, now you might not like those. You may not like those. And so for you, in your opinion, sure, then it's fine in that you're allowed to have that opinion. But I think when you're looking at the general audience reaction, I think that's how I would gauge it. I think I would say, for me personally, I feel like this year has been not great. I wouldn't say that about this year, but I'm saying, for reference, I would say something like, for this year so far, this year hasn't been great for me, but it seems like it's been really great for everyone else, because I think that's inarguably true. When I go into the community, and I frequent this community very often, especially since I respond to every comment that I hear on this channel and run a horror group on Facebook for 10 years and discuss horror every day of my life. It's a fact, in my opinion, that just from the general audience in the community, we would all agree that this has been a very stellar first 4 months. We're now into the 5th month, but the first 4 months, it was a little shaky at first. We got like the night swims and the imaginaries and that kind of stuff. But just in the last month, as I said, we had all of these films, one after the other, that almost everyone loved. Almost. And then also Infested and also Sting, right? So there's plenty of films that almost everyone was enjoying. So to say it's been a bad year for horror so far, I think you're just being biased. And that's just my opinion on that. And you're allowed to have yours. So there you go. I'll defend it though. And outside of just, I'm not going to have the regular defense of someone who's like, no, you're wrong, and then just change the subject. I will always come with a rebuttal that I find is strong. So I hope that clears that up for you. 2024 has been a fantastic year thus far, and I think is on the way with everything that we have coming out, with all of these huge titles to look forward to, whether it's Longlegs or Maxine, or there's Nosferatu. There's a laundry list of movies that look fucking tastic. In a violent nature. I mean, we can go on and on with tons and tons of titles that have yet to be released. And with everything we've gotten so far, I think this year is going to be one for the books. So I disagree. Yes, the show is still happening. I'd say 2024 is on par for the course when it comes to horror. The truly great stuff doesn't usually come out till August. And, Jacob says the same, but I think a lot of good stuff has come out. You said Stop Motion's your favorite. Yeah. It's a really good one. It's not my favorite. Abigail is, as of right now. But I really like stop motion as well. I read that they were shooting for a June 2025 release. I can't remember what month. It's June. Yeah, June. They should. If they miss that June 13th release date, which is a Friday the 13th, June, which is what the first movie lands on, is a June, Friday the 13th. If they miss that window when they have it so perfectly lined, that's a huge missed opportunity. So I don't know. I feel like we've had some great stuff. So see, my wife knows what's going on. Yes, I'm not surprised at all that this is your most anticipated, and Maya as well. But Late Night with the Devil, First Own Seat. Oh yeah, Arcadian as well. Lisa Frankenstein I wasn't as big on, but I did like it. But I loved Arcadian. Another one I also really, really enjoyed. And yeah, I saw the TV Glow. I'm really looking forward to that one. That comes out here in a couple weeks. We're going to see Planet of the Apes tomorrow, which I couldn't be more excited for. Obviously, that's not horror, but it's my most anticipated non-horror film of the year, alongside of Furiosa. Longlegs and Violent Nature. Yeah, that's cool. Nice VHS collection. Thank you. I hope you and your daughter feel better soon. We'll be all right. Thank you, Ariadne. Ariadne. I can't even friggin' get the whole thing out. I thought my voice was clearing up there for a second. In fact, it does kind of sound like it is a bit, but maybe the more I talk. Sinister. Yeah, you got it. A story that could be an amazing TV series could be Dante's Divine Comedy, Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. Get writing. People always talk about how, they have all these ideas that they're so excited and that they're like mad. We don't have any original ideas. Hollywood's out of ideas. And then they like, I have all the best ideas. Get to it then. What the fuck are you doing? You're just robbing us of all of these wonderful movies that you have stored in your genius brain. I'm not coming at you, by the way. I'm just talking about people in general. I always hear that online. Everyone always seems to be like, some freaking Nobel freaking prize winner in their mind, but they don't ever seem to do anything with it. They're like, squandering their talent, I guess, working at fucking Circle K. They should be out here writing these original films. That's what they should be doing. Supposedly they have, the next classic films in their head, original too. There will be nothing derivative from anything else in the past. Nothing. Zero. They have completely original takes, but they are hoarding them to themselves. So, man, I really wish that they would share with us, because they seem online. They're just filled with so many good ideas. They never say what they are because they don't want anyone stealing them, but they also aren't going to do anything with them. I'm obviously being so super serious right now. Fuller has accusations. Yeah, who the fuck doesn't these days? I don't know. I haven't looked into them enough. Yo, I'm secretly watching this at work. Oh, David. David is an OG Sinister Cinemite. Not to be confused with an anti-Semite. It's a completely different thing. A Sinister Cinemite or Cinmite. Cinemite's better because it doesn't sound as much like as what I just said. He's one of the OG members of the original Facebook group. He was there day one. So shout out to David Zavala. This guy, he clicks on every comment or every post that I've ever posted in Sinister Cinema from the genesis of it almost 10 years ago. David has interacted with it in some regard. He always gives it a thumbs up, something. And I try to do the same for him. If no one else is paying attention to me, David Zavala is always there to boost me up. So shout out to him. Great guy. Love getting to know him over the years. And he never comes on the channel. So not into the lives anyways, or he doesn't comment. So great guy. And yeah, there. I'm done blowing you, David. I'm never going to say a nice thing about you again. So don't get too excited, you prick. HBO did Deadwood, Rome, Dirty, and Netflix did Glow. God, that was horrible. Don't ever mention that again. I'm still mad about that. All right, let's see. There should be a special place in hell reserved for those who cancel great stories. Yeah, get them. I'm still mad at Netflix for tons of great shows. Oh, Santa Clarita Diet is another one. I love that show so much. At least with Sense8, they were pushed hard enough that they had to get a movie out. So, hey, man, if we would have pushed them hard enough, we could have got something. But we didn't band together. The new Planet of the Apes will be God tier. I hope so, man. I hope so. I'm looking forward to seeing Kevin Durand's Proximus Caesar. I can't tell you how excited I am for that movie. I love all the Apes movies, the original ones, the new ones. Not the Tim Burton remake, unfortunately. I didn't like that one much, but everything else, fantastic. Glad to know that the project isn't entirely canned. Thus far. You know what, Duritan? We are together strong. We are. Terrifier 3, Long Legs, and Cuckoo. Yeah, Cuckoo's another one I'm excited for sure. Cuckoo, yeah. We finished filming our short film. Ooh, all right. Send it on over. Love Pretty Bad Movie Gab. And I'm going to be sobbing probably during it. Yes, you probably will. All right, guys, I caught up on all the comments. Let me look at Bloody Disgusting real quick. This was just supposed to be a super quick, 10, 15-minute video, but you guys get talking. We get a lot of people in here. We start chatting about things. Looking through Bloody Disgusting right now, seeing if there's any... So supposedly, shout out, to my wife here. Supposedly, the number does work. So Kaylee and I called this number right after it aired. It was I forget what it said, 666. So the number that flashed on screen was 201-500-3347. What? That's not the number we got. we got some 666 number, and we're going to call it right now. Let's do it. Live on air. 201 500 3347. Let's do it.
You are not able to make calls to this number.
I'm not allowed to make calls to this number? Wait, okay, let's try this again. What is happening? Once again, let's try it. 3347.
Thank you for calling Chucky and pledging your support. Now, hang up and text me. What kind of a dickwad calls people anymore? Text Chuck with me to this number and get a surprise.
Chuck with me to that number. Okay. Hey, what's funny too is that this number is from New Jersey. That's funny. There you go. All right, let's text Chuck. Oh no, it's a Chuck with me. I'm gonna have to actually check on my daughter's account, because for some reason, oh no, it went through. Okay, for some reason I can't typically text Android users. I only can send iMessages. I've tried everything. I've called my provider. I've called Apple. I've called everyone. I've even taken my phone into stores, and I can't seem to send text messages to Android users. It's the most annoying thing ever. Okay, let's see. We got add yourself to community.com. So this is to try to get Chucky renewed. Okay, so the message says, hey, dipshits. Yes, it's really Chucky, your friend till the end. Want to play? Of course you do. And you better be watching my killer TV show. So click that link and sign up to get texts from me. You're welcome. All right. So you text this number, you put in your information, they data mine it, and then Chucky steals your identity and steals all your shit like the evil little bastard that he is. Very on brand. Very on brand. I put Glenn... What? Okay, what? Don't be dumb. Let's see what happens when I do that. And this... Let's see if we get another text really quick. Boom. Okay. Okay, here we go. Now we're really friends till the end. Heh heh heh. Oh. And some dickhead said I had to include this stupid BS at the end. Read it or not, I don't care. And then this is, I got a Chucky contact. So now I have Chucky in my phone. So when he texts me, I'm going to get a message from Chucky himself. So that's kind of cool. And then also there's a poster. I'm with Chucky here. And show your support. Use hashtag Chucky and post this all over the place. I even look great as a wallpaper. Okay, so you're supposed to go to to your social medias and post it and hashtag Chucky. And let's do that now, because I do want to see another season of my Chucks. You guys might not care. I do. But that's what you can do if you want to support Chucky Season 4. You can go and text that number once again. 1-201-500-3347. So, yeah, that's exciting. We called the number we saw on the screen, which was not that. Hey, Allie. Poor Allie has a sick dog. So everyone say hi to Allie and give her a lot of love, because she's dealing with a little sick pup right now. And she's also playing Outlast Trials with me, my brother, and Alex from Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. Once again, if you guys have not subscribed to my brother's Twitch, He live streams with me every other night, and we play Outlast Trials together. It's total fun time. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs. Alex and them scream. I think Allie might be the only one who doesn't scream like a little girl. But it's a really fun time, and we're always looking to play. Nathan and I really just, in fact, hey, Allie, by the way, since Allie didn't play last night, and Alex didn't play last night, it's really hard to play 2-player. So my brother and I did play last night for an hour. We got on later. And what did we do? We arm wrestled for 1 hour. For 1 full hour, Nathan and I went back and forth and arm wrestled the entire fucking time. That should be of no surprise to you. It was hilarious. We also played 2 quick games of chess, but we arm wrestled. It was pretty ridiculous. The arm wrestling in that is a whole game onto itself and is super fun. So there you go. So everyone call Chucky, use your hashtags, bring back Chucky for season 4. Boom. Shared and there. Okay. So, all right, guys. I think that's it. Let's check Bloody Disgusting one more time. Oh, by the way, also, there was something here. Let's look at this Rowan Campbell thing really quick, actually. Violence. 80s operatic punk rock thriller. Ooh, what? Kaylee's going to get all excited about seeing Rowan Campbell in a punk rock horror thriller. Upcoming indie genre pick Violence, described as an operatic punk rock thriller, has found its leads in Halloween Ends, Rowan Campbell, and Malignance, Maddie Hasten. Who is she in that? I don't know. I don't see the picture of her. Who is she in that? I don't know. Violence is set in an alternate 1980s. We find our anti-hero, Henry Violence, caught in the middle of an intensifying drug war. The 80s set thriller will be scored by Nowhere to Run, comprised of 2 members. Blah, blah, blah. The team breathing life into these equaled my decade-long passion in a way I could only dream of it. I can't wait for audiences around the world to meet these characters brought to life by this remarkable cast. Now, okay, no word yet if Campbell or Hansen will be playing. Who will they be playing at this time? While Campbell is most known as the ill-fated babysitter Corey Cunningham. The actor has also appeared in the genre series Snowpiercer and the Hardy Boys. I want everyone to, if they can, anybody. Okay, how about anybody? Anybody who can get Rowan Campbell on this channel, I want to interview him. I'm going after him. I've already tried to contact him in a couple different ways. If anyone has IMDb Pro and can get me his manager or his talent agent info, I want to get that son of a bitch on this show. I want to talk to Corey Cunningham. I think his character was wonderful, and I think he got a raw deal in the franchise with these fans, and I want to tell him how wonderful he is and how sexy I find him. No, I just really want to talk to the guy. So, yeah. Also, another thing here. Oh, wait, what? We're getting a third 47 meters down directed by Patrick Lussier. Oh, what? 47 meters down, The Wreck. Johannes Roberts will co-write the 3rd movie. Deadline reports the story will follow a father who is determined to rebuild his relationship with his daughter as they bond during a scuba diving in beautiful tropical waters while exploring a famous shipwreck. But soon after their descent, their master diver has an accident, leaving them alone and unprotected inside the labyrinth of the wreck. As tensions rise and oxygen dwindles, the pair must use their newly found bond to escape the wreck and the relentless barrage of bloodthirsty great white sharks. I should probably take advantage of this voice while I have it, because I can do a very deep voice while my voice is fucked up like this. Oh, wow. I had no idea another 47 meters down was coming. That's cool. I like the first one a lot. And the second one, it's not that great, but I'm optimistically looking forward. Yeah, where the hell is Wednesday season 2? I feel like that should be out. But every show, have you guys noticed every show takes like 3 years to make now? Remember, it used to be, I know it's production, right? It's the productions are so big now on these shows, on these big elaborate shows. It's like it's cool that we get such a huge budget and that the shows look so good. But man, it sucks that it takes like 3 years to get a season. I mean, Stranger Things and all these shows are just like, come on already. Severance. I mean, so many things. I mean, it's definitely strikes are part of it. Strikes are part of it. I'll give you that. But I also think that a lot of shows have been pushed for a while now. Did you see this? Tall man is getting a Funko Pop. Kaylee pointed out his little squinty eye. That's awesome. I love it. Not that I wouldn't have saw it, but that was like the first thing she noticed, and I was laughing about that. But I gotta get that. That's one I actually really want. I know some people are like fuck Funkos, but I'm excited. This is the one I was going to talk about. This is what I went down for. The Strangers. We could see a 4.5 hour super cut of all 3 movies. First thing I want to say on that, though, really quick, is bullshit. I'm going to call bullshit real quick, only because we are all, not all of us, but a lot of us, the cool kids anyways, are still waiting on this super cut of It Chapter 1 and 2. Where the fuck is that? Where the fuck is that? Oh my God. Andy Muschietti and everyone over there that worked on the It movies, they're like, oh, you guys are going to get this super cut of the first 2 movies, or the 2 movies together. What I'm hoping is that the Dairy TV show will reinvigorate the excitement for this movie, for this franchise, and we'll get that back in the pipeline. Because I think the reaction to It Chapter 2 from all the idiots who didn't like it, sorry idiots, is that they kind of went, oh, I don't know. But I think it would kill. I want a 4K super cut of that movie with all the extra footage, all put together as one film. Please and thank you. Ariadne, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. You're always wonderful. And speaking of which, another one from even further back that we never get is Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. Where the fuck is that? Where is that? Why do they keep teasing these things for years and years and they never happen? They never happen. There's so many of these things where I'm just like, I don't get why you won't release these things. Right? So it is what it is. But The Strangers, we could see a 4.5 supercut. Take that with a huge grain of salt. We'll see. We'll see how popular this is. But even it was the highest grossing horror movie of all time, bringing in $700+ million. And that still can't get a supercut. If you can't get a supercut with $1 billion horror franchise with only 2 movies, then how the hell? What the fuck is The Whole Bloody Affair? Oh, this has been talked about forever. The Whole Bloody Affair is a supercut of both of the movies together in one. Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair. This is the poster for it. They've been talking about it. They released, they're gonna, this whole thing. It was supposed to happen. It was supposed to get released. Originally, that's 4 hours and 7 minutes. Originally, Quentin wanted to release the whole thing as one movie, and they wouldn't let him, so he had to break it into 2 films. But we had heard about this, this cut together Whole Bloody Affair. Where obviously, we get the original colored fight between the crazy 88s, stuff like that. But yeah, it just, that kind of stuff is super annoying. But yeah, the strangers thing will only happen on you know, online or on Blu-ray or whatever. But 4.5 hour strangers thing is interesting to me. I don't know yet. I don't know what to expect, because you got to think that the movies themselves are only going to be 4.5 hours, right? Like, this isn't going to be like a super cut as far as like new footage, because a 90-minute movie 3 times, right, is an hour and a half, 3 hours, 4.5 hours. I mean, math, there you go. It's that doesn't sound like we're getting anything crazy, right? That just sounds like they're going to release all 3 movies together in one film. I mean, okay, all 3 films were directed by Rennie Harlan. The Garbage Town, blah, blah, blah. Originally pleasure, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Sometimes we know exactly what we're doing. Listen. Okay, but I definitely want to have that event and see if people take 4.5 hours of dread and fear. So I don't know if we need to have an intermission. So they're thinking about, it's in our heads, this is definitely what we want to do. We want to cut together the full arc. I mean, anybody can do that. I mean, if you're at home, unless you're doing it in theaters, just watching them back to back, like, it's not a big, like, okay, it's not that complicated. It doesn't really take me out of it exactly for like me to watch Halloween and then Halloween 2, which is that same night, right? Now, cutting them together and, you know, splicing them together and putting it as one film is kind of cool. I mean, it's okay. It's not something that's like absolutely necessary. It doesn't really change the experience all that much for me. But if they're going to release a 4.5 hour movie in theaters, ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's asking a lot. Anyways, all right, guys, we did an hour. I was expecting 20 minutes. This always happens, but you guys are wonderful. You're always hanging out. You're always kicking ass, you know, asking good questions. Kaylee and I should be doing a live stream soon. My live stream that I'm doing with Wolfman Got Nards is unfortunately canceled for the time being. We were supposed to do it tomorrow, but he has gotten called into work and can't get out of it. So we are postponing it. We are going to be doing it at a later date. But I have some cool interviews and whatnot lined up for you. We have the 20K live stream. What's up, Drum Dums? Lee McCoy himself is in here. He, I'm sure, was probably thinking about doing a stream like this as well. You'll be talking about it in your next Drum Dum Lives, I have no doubt. I need to do another live with Lee. Lee, you need to come on my channel next time. I think I've always come on your channel. It's time for you. Have you ever come on my channel? I don't think you have. But next time you're coming on my channel, we're going to do something. We're going to have fun, because on my channel, we can be a little more bold. We can talk about whatever we want. We can get naked. We can do the true Sinister duo that everyone wants to see. That's what everyone's looking for. They want to see Drum Dums and Sinister Cinema naked. Right, guys? I'm going to get out of this before everyone says, no, God, please no, my eyes, I don't want to go blind. Save your comments. But yeah, let's talk about that. And yeah, I got some collabs coming up. I'm going to interview Cecil from the horror show. I want to talk to him about his fan film, Dylan's New Nightmare, and what he's got planned for us in the future. Because I personally think that's the best fan film, and not just because he's my buddy, but he's got big plans for his next film, and he's a good friend of mine. So I thought it'd be fun to have him on and discuss that film. I got an interview with the director of Life of Belle, a cool found footage film that no one's talking about. that I'm going to interview here soon, and other people that I'm looking forward to. Once again, yeah, if anyone knows how to get a hold of Rowan Campbell, I'm getting him on the damn channel. It's happening. I don't care. You guys are going to see it soon. I'm going to talk to him about this new movie he's doing. Something. Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Adios.